A claps.
Hey my loves, it's me Keisha, and I am here with this week's All Tea All Shade BMF Season 2 Episode 1 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken seriously. So if that works for you, then let's get into this review. But I want to let you guys know that I will be doing reviews on RuPaul's Drag Race, as well as the new season of Ready to Love and more. Also, let me know down below in the comment section if you all are watching Ginny and Georgia on Netflix. I would love to do reviews on that show because I really truly enjoyed season 1. So if I get a lot of people saying that they watch it, I will most definitely do reviews. But you guys gotta watch it. You got to make it worth it for me to be doing, these reviews on these shows. So if your guys are not going to tune in, then I won't continue on with the series. So please support. Now let's get into this review. The episode begins later on in their lives where the guys are fully grown now. They're already been in the game now for decades at this point. And we see Terry in St. Louis, where I live, and he's preparing to flee and to get out of the country, get out of Dodge. But beforehand, he's going to have his last Sunday dinner with his crew of guys, the 263 guys, because at this point in him and Meech's, drug kingpin fame and rise to glory, they had split at this point and weren't even speaking. So he had his own crew and Meech had BMF. So we see Terry having, like I said, his last Sunday dinner with his crew of guys, the 263 guys. And he said that, Sunday dinners was something that his mother demanded and that it was something that they always did. And he wanted to continue that tradition with his own crew of people. And this season, we also see that Terry's character is the one doing the narrating, which last season it was Meech characters. And I really like that they switched it up. So as they're sitting having Sunday supper, the house get kicked in by the feds, and we see Detective Bryant, who's still alive and still hunting them down and still trying to, stick something to them to get them locked up. And he's been chasing these guys now for years. And when I watched the BMF documentary series Blowing Money Fast on Stars, I believe one of the cops, it was a white guy though, that had been tracing them in this, their drug kingpin for years before they were finally able to pin something on them. But the difference is that when Terry actually got caught here in St. Louis, they weren't having Sunday dinner. They were actually gambling. It was like a little gambling spot that he was at in Florissant, Missouri. So I was like, wow, because BMF was really huge here in St. Louis, still is to this day. And Lil Meech is often here. I don't know if they have family out here or what, but he's often here in St. Louis at the clubs and stuff like that. So in Terry's voiceover, we hear him say, Meech always threw caution to the wind and dollars in the air. He got arrested first. I always thought I was smarter, but I wasn't. And in real life, Terry did think that he was smarter than Meech. He thought that, Meech was way too flashy and, causing too much attention to them. And that was a part of the reason why they ended up separating and going their separate ways for quite some time. But it was actually Terry, the one that ended up getting them locked up because he was talking over the phone. Whereas Meech never talked on the phone, never wrote anything down. The feds could not tie anything back to him because he kept his hands clean, whereas Terry was part of the reason why they got knocked in the first place. And, it goes to say a lot about how, he often looked down on Meech for Meech's flashiness, but it was him that, got them taken down. You can't always think you're the smartest person in the room. Now we go back in time. I believe at this point, it is still maybe like the late 80s at this point, or either Yeah, this had to be the late 80s. I don't think it was the 90s yet. So this had to been like late 80s, and if it was the 90s, it was like early 90s, like 1990 or something like that. But I think it was late 80s. So anywho, we see their parents, Lucille and Charles, out having breakfast before they have to head to work. Lucille is in her Wendy's uniform. Charles has on his uh motor outfit because he worked for um one of the motor companies during that time, but they are struggling financially. And Lucille is watching this couple across from them, just carefree, happy, not worrying about finances and things of that nature. And she's sad. She's sad. She's angry. She's depressed. She's not happy with her life. And she even says to Charles, that should have been us. Like, she wants more out of this life, more than what he or she can provide for themselves. We then see Detective Bryant in a meeting with the commander and other officers or detectives, and he's breaking down the murder case of Cato and I believe, and Lamar. And he's saying how, what was found at the crime scene, this, that, and the third. And in erupts a new detective by the name of Detective Veronica, who basically questions him while he's breaking everything down to his commander in chief. And he looking like, who is this chick? Like, questioning what I had to say, like making me look crazy in front of everybody. And that's when he finds out that this is his new partner. And he is not pleased by this at all because of what honestly just happened with his last partner. He does not want another partner, and especially somebody that think they know it all. We then switch to seeing Terry and his partner at a basketball game, and they there chilling, watching the game, and in walks Markeisha or Markeisha. I think that's how her name is pronounced, Markeisha or either Markeisha, which is played by Lala Anthony. And she was seen in one episode last season because she's married to another drug dealer there in Detroit. She's already taken, but Terry got his eyes on her. She, however, pays him dust, ain't even looking his way. Now, Markeisha's character is actually based off the real life woman Tony Welch, which was Terry's girlfriend. During that whole time, during their run, they were together. At first, she was having an affair with him, and it's a lot of stuff with her husband. He was crazy, child. He tried to off her, and it was a lot going on. Terry and Tony even got together when he got out of jail. Within the last few years. Right now, I don't think they're together or anything like that. But yeah, they have had a long-standing relationship. And she also claims that she was a big part of BMF's success. She actually has an episode on BET's, what is it called? Queen Pins. Yeah. So check that out if you have not seen it. So in walks Markeisha. She walks right past him, switching, sucking on a lollipop like she in the LL Cool J video. And he is just enamored with her. He thinks that she is the finest thing ever, but once again, she's taken. Now, across the way is Meech and B. Mickey. And he look at this soft ass nigga, like all up on this girl, and she already taken. Like, he always on some other stuff. So after the basketball game, Meech walks right past T and does not speak. And he was like, you still call yourself being mad? He was like, I ain't mad. I just ain't fucking with you. Like, fuck you, nigga. Like, no. Because you left me high and dry. And I ain't got nothing to say to you. So we then see these two dudes arguing. Now, the dudes were the coaches for the basketball team. And apparently they, two big drug dealers or whatever. And they made a bet about, whoever team lost, they had to pay up. And one of the dudes was like, I ain't giving you nothing, because his team was the one that lost. He was like, I ain't giving you nothing. Well, he gave up something, because the other drug dealer, K9, took out his gun and bop, bop, bop him dead in the head in front of everybody in broad daylight. And Meech just standing there like, what? Like, what just happened? So dude jump in the car. He was like, come on. And Meech jump in the car with him, and they speed off. And I'm like, Meech is out here. Like, he is out here wilding. But one thing I can say, if you want to say respect, which I say loosely about BMF, is they really didn't involve themselves in a lot of, pow, pow, pow. They didn't have to do that. And that was one of the things that they talked about in the documentary, that people stayed loyal to them because everybody was getting money. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no shortage of money, like, and clout, and everybody was eating, so nobody had to hurt anybody. Now, they did have some altercations here and there, but it wasn't a community of dudes that was based off of fear like a lot of dealers do. So after that, we go to LaWanda is back, and that is Terry's baby mama. She's back in town after being gone for quite some time with their son. And Terry, of course, is happy that his son is back. More so his son than her, because he felt some type of way with the fact that she took their son in the first place. And so Lucille asked, he seen Meech, and he was like, nah, I ain't seen him, knowing that he literally just saw him. But basically, they ain't even speaking, so there's really not too much that he can tell his mama in the first place. And he most definitely ain't going to tell his mama that Meech is out here wilding and jumping in a car with a dude that just smoked somebody in broad daylight. So we then see Meech with the dude K9, who is like at this like hole in a wall like restaurant or something with his chick, the girl feeding him his meal like he a newborn baby. And I was like, the money and the Disney got to be great for you to be sitting up here feeding this man like he in a Gerber commercial. But okay, girl. So the dude K9 ended up like cussing out like some Mexican dude who was like, get the F out my face or whatever. Like, he is just Nino Brown before Nino Brown was Nino Brown. So after he get done telling the dude to get out his face, he was like, Meech. So Meech comes sit down with him with a backpack. And in the beginning of the episode, we saw Meech getting strapped up with drugs to transport it back to Detroit from Vegas, I believe. And so Meech gives him the drugs that he brought back without any problems. At first, he was supposed to fly back, but he had some issues, so he ended up having to go on Greyhound. And what's crazy is that even till this day, if that was something that you wanted to do, the best way to do it is to do Greyhound or to do Megabus or to do the train, because they don't check anything. Like, you could have a blicky on you, you could have, the drugs, and they would be none the wiser because they don't check anything. And I think that that's so unsafe, so totally unsafe, because they do the most at the airport and don't do anything on those types of transportation. So after he give him the bricks or whatever, Meech basically telling the K9 dude, like, put me on, like, you see what I can do, you see I brought it back without no issue, like, what's up? So K9, like, people get ahead in this game from the bonds they make. Like, basically, like, slow down, let me figure out if I can trust you, and then we'll see where we can go. So as they're having that conversation, old girl from last season that Terry hooked up with that was going to become their connect, she walks in and greets K9, and they got a rapport with one another. She well respected, and she spot Meech and make a little snide comment about how she don't mess with him on that type of time. And he looking at her like, bitch, fuck you, like, I don't even like your ass. And I must say that Lil Meech plays the hell out of his father. He really honestly does. So we then see Charles and Lucille in the bed. It's nighttime, and he trying to get some. And she like, no, not today. I'll hook you up another day. He steady trying, and she just like, no. She do not want to be bothered with that man. And after a while, he finally take the no for a no and lay back like, damn. And then we see that she really wasn't tired. She laying on the other side of the bed, just not wanting to be bothered with him because she feels some type of way about their life. Like, she tired of struggling. She tired of being poor and all of this stuff, and she just not feeling it. And when you in a situation like that where you scraping to survive, ain't nobody thinking about busting it wide open. Like, ew, no. And he talking about he gonna get some money and take her to the chop house to go eat. Like, boy, sit down somewhere. Please sit down. I'm so tired of you and your hoop dreams. So After that, we go to Meech partners at this record store, and it's B Mickey and some other dudes. And this other crew of dudes come into the record store, and one of the little oaks on Meech's side get into it with this fat boy from the other side. They get to banging because dude stole on them first, but then fat boy got them together and started whooping that ass. And B Mickey pull out a gun because I think one of the dudes is going to try to jump in, and then another dude put out a gun. They had a Mexican standoff, and then Meech come in like, "What is y'all doing?" He was like, "I told them to come here. Like, everybody chill out." And he basically tells them that he called this meeting because he want them to link up, both crews to link up and get money together. And he was like, I gotta connect. Like, I got y'all. So dude was like, "You ain't got no plug." And he got a plug, but he ain't got a plug. It's one of them situations where, he got the dude K9, but he just got to convince the dude K9 to put him on. So he got it, but he ain't got it. So the fat boy, like, look at Meech, always selling wolf tickets. Like, man, we up out of here. So they end up leaving. And Meech kind of feel, some type of way because, niggas is shitting on him. So then we see Meech roll through the drive-thru at Wendy's to see his mama. And, of course, she's so happy to see him and everything. And she invites him to Sunday dinner. And he was like, "All right, I'm going to try my best to make it." And he give her some money. And she don't want to take it. She don't want to take it or whatever. I'm like, girl, you sitting over there not effing your husband, being mad that y'all eating at the Waffle House. And that you working at Wendy's in the window and your son trying to give you money. I know it's dirty money, but girl, take that money and go on about your business, girl. Are you sitting up here trying to be prideful? So then we see Terry go to the bank to, I think he was going to deposit some money or something like that. And he also went there because Markeisha works there. And, he trying to, see what's up with her. But she paying him dust. She like, "Child, I'm at work. And you up here talking about, other people that do what he do, who got bank accounts there, talking all loud." And she looking at him like, this amateur night at the Apollo ass nigga, what is going on? So, she just basically waved him off. Like, she ain't got time. So that night we see Terry laying in the bed with his baby mama, but he thinking about smashing Markeisha while he in the bed with her. And I was like, see, this is why I be talking about niggas ain't shit. Ain't shit. And this girl none the wiser talking, "So you happy me and the baby back?" And he like, "Yeah, I'm happy y'all back," or whatever. More so once again his son, because he's still low key mad at her. But what was the gag for me was that they was laid up in the bed together in his mama house. And I'm like, yeah, you grown technically, and you got a whole baby, but for the mama to be so religious and strict and this, that, and the third, you got your son and his baby mama laid up in the bed together. Oh, okay. Let me know where that works. Let me know. So, the baby mama saying how she want to build with him and build for their son's future. And he just looking at her like, "We'll see, because I still ain't really fucking with you like that. Like, we cool, but we ain't cool like that." So then we see Detective Brian and Detective Jen run down on B Mickey and the dude that got into it with the fat boy. They run down on them. The little oak think that he got away from when he ran away from Detective Brian and Detective Jen. He thought that he had got away. But baby, as soon as his ass stepped across the street, Detective Jen ran his ass the fuck over and knocked out his tooth, child. And I was like, that's what you get. So he get knocked, but B Mickey was able to escape. So after that, we see Meech asks K9 once again to put him on again. Like, he persistent. I can say that much. So this time K9 was like, "All right, I got you. I got a gift for you." So Meechy think that, I'm about to get put on. Like, this is finally the time. He finally go mess with me. And in all actuality, he opens up the box and it's somebody's face, child. Somebody's face that got peeled off. And at that point, I would have been like, you know what? maybe I need to go back to school. Maybe I need to become a veterinarian. Maybe I need to be a janitor, because I don't think that this is a part of my ministry here. When niggas is showing me people's face that they done peeled off, yeah, I'm good. So the dude K9 was like, if I ever do decide to work with you and you cross me or you late with my money, I will unalive you, sir. That's what's gonna happen. So if you sure about this, let's play. Because I don't know if you really want to play. And he was like, not only will I unalive you, but I'll unalive your brother, B Mickey, your partners, everybody. Like, everybody gone. Everybody. But Meech still in. Like, he ready. He ready. So we then see Meechy hop in the car with Southwest T, because Southwest and their father is trying to get this car service situation off the ground. So Meech hops in the car with his brother in the back seat, and he telling him, like, I got a plug, I got to connect, like, come back and fuck with me. And T like, no, going to straight and narrow. I'm not trying to be on that time no more or whatever. And he just is not budging. He is not giving in. And Meech at some point was like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. And he was like, keep the change, little nigga, with your broke ass. And flicked a whole bunch of money to his brother. Baby, we would have been fighting. He would have gotten ran over with a car. You flicking money at me, sir? Absolutely not. We're not about to do that. So we then see it's Sunday dinner, and the family is there except for Meech. Everybody else is there. Everybody's preparing to sit down at the table, and they little sister come downstairs with some lip gloss on. And the mama was like, what is that on your lip? She was like, it's some lip gloss. And she was like, take that off. And she was like, you should be more worried about Meech than me wearing lip gloss, girl. And I'm like, I'm siding with the little sister because she's 100% correct. You sitting up here worried about me wearing some dang on clear lip gloss, when your son out here a whole dang on drug dealer. Ma'am, get your priority. Then your other son up here laid up with the baby mama in bed. Like, girl, you worried about the wrong thing. So when she said that, however, mama slapped the dog crap out of her. Slapped her back to East Jesus, honey. I think that you can tell me that she still had lip gloss on her lip after that smack. She was like, who you talking to? Like, I am tired of your mouth and you talking back. Go take it off. So, of course, the little girl stomped to her room because she done got smacked in front of everybody. And I felt low-key bad for her, because you should have been smacking Charles for having y'all over here broken in the ghetto. So after that, we see Detective Bryant tell Detective Jen that, moving forward, he want to be very transparent with her, because now he trusts her. Now that they done, ran up on B Mickey and the other dude, like, he see how she get down. So he feeling like, he can tell her the real. And he was like, I want to be transparent with you after losing my last partner, because I wasn't telling my last partner everything. So he takes Detective Jen into this hospital room, and he's going over the patient with the doctor, and she, as Detective Brian is talking to the doctor, pulls the curtain back and sees that it's none other than Lamar child. Lamar is in the hospital on machines, keeping him alive. And Detective Brown was like, yeah, we got him here under a different name. We don't want anybody to know he's alive, because whenever he does wake, if he does wake, we want to see if he can tell us who shot him. And I was like, good decision. Great decision, writers, because if you watched my reviews last season, I was so mad and disappointed that they got rid of the Lamar character, because the actor that plays him did such a phenomenal job that I was like, this is not an actor that you want to let slip through your fingers. Like, no, because that man came, he saw, and he conquered last season. He acted his butt off, and he takes his craft so seriously. So I was here for that. I was 100% here for it. And I said at the end of last season, I was like, why do the Power Universe shows always get rid of their villains after one season? I was like, that is so stupid, especially when you have an actor that acts as well as the actor that plays Lamar's character. He did such a good job of being the villain. I was like, like they needed to stretch that out at least one more season, to be honest with you. And I'm so happy that they listened, or this was always a part of the plan, because it was genius, and I can't wait to see the mayhem that's going to come out of this entire situation. So after that, we see um Terry go to back to the bank to see Markeisha again, and this time he brings her some orchids, but she refuses to take them because she is married, and she don't understand what he don't get about that, because it's coming across very stalkerish. He this time he came in with a little three-piece suit on, like that's doing something, and she feeling him, but she ain't trying to show it none. So since she didn't take the orchid, he then takes it home and gives it to the baby mama, who once again is just in the dark and don't even know what's going on. And I'm like, niggas is so trifling. So trifling. Because not only is you out here cheating on me, but then you gonna give me some flowers that you had for somebody else. Baby, wait until the baby mama find out about this Markeisha girl. Child, it's about to be a mess. So Meech then links up with his boys and tells them that there ain't no more 50 boys. The 50 boys is done. They are now BMF. That is what they're on. And that didn't happen until years later, where the whole BMF thing started. The whole BMF thing didn't even start until the 2000s, really. So that was funny how they switched it up for the show. So his people like, I bet, like everybody good, everybody ready and excited to get this money. So he lets the guys know that he got 20 keys from K9. So I was like, ooh, y'all officially in business. So if something happened, K9 is coming for blood. Blood clot, okay? So he ends up missing family dinner that night, and I was like, dang, because that was something that he needed to do to be around his family. And, it had to disappoint his mom. So after dinner, LaWanda and Lucille are in the kitchen cleaning up, and she thanks Lucille for giving her the idea to take the baby and dip for a few months, because that was their way of basically forcing T's hand to get out of the game. And he overhears the conversation, and he's pissed off because he's like, I can't trust nobody in this family. I simply cannot. And he walks out storming and slams the door. And I get where he was coming from, because like, not only are my mama and my girl plotting on me, but then to do it in such a devious way with taking my son from me, like making it that drastic. But then again, we trying to save your life, so I understand why they did it. So I understand why both sides felt the way that they felt. So after that, we see Meech telling B Mickey that he gonna be his right man now at this point, because him and T don't get along. So he needs somebody there right by his side. And B Mickey like, I got you. I got you. And Meech was like, dang, I would have think that you would have been more excited. He was like, I mean, yeah, I am, but I got this stuff going on with my mama. So his mother is really sickly. So Meech is like, yeah, I understand. I got you. Anything you need, I'm here for you. So after that, we see B Mickey go home and turn on the light, and it's none other than Detective Bryant in his home waiting on him. And B Mickey like, what did you doing in my house? And he didn't pull his gun out. And Detective Brown was like, child, put that up before I arrest you right now. So he basically was like, I'm here because I want you to get me information on Meech. And he tells him that Meech ain't have nothing to do with Kato's death, or whatever the case may be. Because he didn't. It was actually him that killed her. So Detective Brown was like, well, you better get me something. You got to give me something, or bitch, Big Meech. Because if you don't, I'm going to go and file double homicide charges against you. One for Kato's death, and one for the other guy that he knocked last season. So he was like, "You better give me something, girl." And he give me his card and tell him to give him a call once he got some more information. And I was like, "Oh God, we got another snitch on our hands. This is not gonna go well for B Mickey, even though the real B Mickey in real life is still living." But hopefully they end up basically outthinking the detective and are able to play him some type of way, because I really like B Mickey's character and I hope that he stays around for more seasons to come. So Detective Brian leaves and B Mickey just standing there like, what am I gonna do? Because he don't want to turn on Meech, but then again he ain't trying to go to jail neither, so he in a rock, in between a rock and a hard place. So I can't wait to see how that whole situation is going to fare, and if he's really actually going to end up turning on Meech and giving Brian information, or they're going to figure out a way to, like I said, play him. And then at the very end of the episode, we go back to the hospital and we see Lamar laying in the bed, you know, on a breathing machine. And then next thing you know, he jumps up and he is awake, honey. And the monster is back, and I'm so here for it because the actor that plays Lamar is so dang on fine, honey. He is so fine. It is a good looking man, a good man, Savannah, a good man. So I can't wait to see what he's going to conjure up once he gets his wits back. But overall, it seemed like this is going to be an interesting season of BMF. I'm excited to see how everything plays out. Loving the music, loving the set locations, the outfits, and everything. I feel like the staff is doing a wonderful job with filming this television show. So I give the season premiere episode of BMF overall a B minus. A B minus. It was good though. It was good. Let me know what y'all thought down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.